Frosty. I heard prostate.
No, I did too. Don't feel bad. I was like, are we handing out the sausages? Or... I mean, you got the small enough hands for
No! Oh, man.
it. The more you know. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh, my.
I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying.
Oh, my.
Alright, we should probably get on with this.
Paranormal activities occur throughout the world. Join our hosts on their journey through the unknown. Welcome to Supernaturally Speaking.
Welcome to the 4th of July episode of Supernaturally Speaking. I am Troy.
I'm Justin.
And we may have some piping ins from our resident Disney fanatic, Miss Mel.
Yay.
There you go.
Off camera.
Yes. She's not in a visual mood today. So, we decided that today we would kind of do something a little more America, since we've got 4th of July tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Which is funny because I got a feeling this isn't going to get posted until after the 4th, so everybody's just going to have to regress back a little bit. Which is okay.
Yeah,
Which is okay.
yeah,
It's okay. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. So how's your week been?
Good.
Anything exciting?
Busy.
Busy?
Yeah. Celebrated 8 years of marriage.
Oh,
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah.
You made it past the 7-year itch.
Yeah.
No one's dead yet.
I love that there's a yet involved in this.
Except somehow I ran over a damn freaking.
Somebody stabbed my tire while I was driving.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got to work and heard a loud like.
At least you made it to work.
Yeah, that's why I think I ran over it, because I think if I would have been slashed, like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if somebody did try and slash and they broke their knife, then that person needs a serious life lesson in purchasing blades.
Well, it was a Walmart brand Ozark Trail knife. That I know it's Walmart because they're the only ones that sell that, as far as I've seen. But well,
See, the investigation has begun.
they're not the only ones. No, I frequent the outdoor section in Walmart.
Oh,
It's right next to the gun section.
Poor sad man.
With or without slippers, like, just for the record.
In my pajama onesies.
So we've got this
Because
on camera.
that's the guy you want to see at the gun counter. That's the guy you want to see at the gun
Jesus saves.
counter. Yeah.
It was also Canada Day.
Passes to
Oh, yeah.
Moses, he shoots, he scores. Oh, Canada.
What about you?
Not too bad, just busy at work. We're waiting on material to come in, so it's kind of like I have to do extra work to make sure I've got supplies, everything ready for the students. And the night crew is marching to the beat of their own drum again, and
Usually.
that does not bode well with the rest of us who are doing what we're supposed to be doing. So, not too bad. No, I love my new job. I love this job. Don't get me wrong. But one of the hardest things about it is to see some of these students who are real young, but so just filled with that false sense of entitlement or spoiled.
We're getting a lot of that too.
It's like I look at some of these kids, and I call them kids. I call them kids because some of
That's how
them
they
truly are. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. And like I see some of them where it's like mommy and daddy are paying for everything, and they just don't give a fuck. And it's like, are you kidding me? We've got students who are struggling financially.
Yeah.
And you have the audacity to come in and act like that? Are you fucking kidding me? If any of you are watching this, seriously, pull your head out of your ass. Be thankful that you have that, and don't waste it. It's that simple. So yeah, other than that, helping the students who actually want it is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, though I gotta push.
But that's why we become instructors. So.
It is, and the tough part is I've got to push off one of my certifications until next week, just because this week they had to adjust my work schedule, so I got to work some split shifts. So that's another reason we had to get this done tonight, because Wednesday and Thursday I'm working from 8 to 12 and then 7 to 11. So I really don't have a lot of time in between. Other than that, though, not bad. I am kind of hoping it cools off soon, because there's a lot of just little personal projects I don't have to do, but I want to do.
Yeah.
And it's just too hot. It's too hot to torch up and.
Yeah.
Oh, so
how patriotic are we making this?
you know,
You want me to start it?
why don't you start? It's been a while since we've heard from you. Let's hear from you.
I feel like we should do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I got a leash right here.
A leash?
Yeah, it won't let me go too far.
Like the little children.
Oh yeah,
that
you
say
want
that?
to know why? Because it's
'Cause
pink.
it's pink. Yeah. Thanks, babe.
No problem.
But I'm only at 15%, and this thing's gonna die. So
Okay.
I don't know. 15 should be able to. Whatever.
No, you should be okay right there.
All right. So we've got the 10 most haunted military forts and battlefields
Dun, dun, dun.
in the U.S.
We are a war-loving country.
At number 10, we've got Fort Meigs. I'm gonna go with that.
Where is this located?
I will let you know. Back before he was a United States president, William Henry Harrison was a general during the War of 1812. Sorry, he established Fort Meigs. Ugh. I can't get over that.
Fort
It's
Miyagi.
M-E-I-G-S. Meigs.
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 Maybe it's more Meigs. I'll tell you what. Keep
Hey.
going. Keep going. I'll look it up.
Leagues?
It's just south of Toledo, Ohio.
Wow.
Fuck. I think this Dos Equis is getting me.
It's okay, buddy.
Shit.
It's okay. Keep trying.
Oh man.
I don't always drink beer.
But when he
And
does,
that's why it's getting me.
when he does, he gets fucked up.
Holy shit.
It's alright, I'll have my day tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know it takes all of two.
So, with this place these days, fuck it.
These guys in this place. During that one time.
People claim to hear cannon fire, muskets, and the sounds of, hey, this says fifes. Somebody fucked up on this article. See?
Are you trying to say pipes?
No, rifles. Fifes? Fifes? Oh, or is it fifes and drums?
I think
Is
it's
that like
supposed to
the-
be pipes and drums. Yeah.
Oh. Well, whatever, it's still wrong. It's not my fault this time.
This time.
Oh, that's creepy. They also hear footsteps.
Jalapeno lions.
And they see apparitions staring at them through the windows. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's not unsettling whatsoever.
It's believed that over 500 dead Americans, British, and Indian soldiers are buried in unmarked graves around and underneath the fort, which was reconstructed and opened to the public in 1974. Hey, I wonder if this is the one that they did the Twilight Zone episode on.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe Mel can figure that one out.
There was like a million Twilight Zone episodes about like military.
Twilight
battles.
Zone, Fort Meigs.
Meigs.
Miyagi's.
Yes. Fort Miyagi's.
Coming at number 9, Fort William Henry. If you've ever read or seen The Last of the Mohicans, you are familiar with Fort William Henry.
God, I haven't seen that forever, but yeah.
Located on Lake George in upstate New York. It was used in the French and Indian War. Ghost Hunters did something on it.
No kidding.
Yeah. Since rumor has it that Fort William Henry is one of the most haunted military sites in America. Why would they put this as number 9 then? Jeez, they must get better.
They better get better.
But wait, there's more.
There are ghost tours offered, with
yeah.
reports over the years of lights turning on and off, as well as the sounds of unexplained footsteps, as well as such as chimes. As well as wind chimes sounding despite the absence of actual wind. The fort was home to a massacre during the skirmish between Indians and British soldiers, with some believing that the spirits from both sides of the conflict still roam the grounds. Ooh. Some floating feathers and shit.
Shit.
So back to your Fort Meigs. Apparently, in October they do a 2-weekend thing in October, where they have reenactors do like guided tours through the fort at night and tell ghost stories.
That's pretty cool. That'd be sweet. Number 8, if you're keeping count, is the Battle of Stony Creek in 1813. Technically, it's located in Ontario, but
Canada?
yeah, Canada.
Canada, okay.
It was.
Can't fucking put that song out there and not expect to hear that back.
Stony Creek was home to Mary Jones Gage and her family. Her husband, who had fought for the British, had died during the American Revolution. And then in 1813, invading American troops stormed the home with the hopes of taking it as their headquarters. The next day, the Battle of Stony Creek broke out, with the Gage family holed up in the basement of their posh home. Unlike most of our other entries on the list, the Stony Creek home, once owned by the Gage family, is not said to be haunted only by deceased soldiers, but by Mary Jones Gage herself, whose family had been at one point held captive by American forces during the fateful battle. These days it is believed Gage still haunts the grounds. She died in 1841, and before she could be laid to rest, her body and headstone disappeared.
The hell?
In addition to Gage haunting the actual home, there have been reports of misty figures who appear to be soldiers marching in the area, apparently headed to battle.
I think the worst part about that is the fact that the headstone and her body are just fucking gone.
Yeah. This is like drunk history right now. Coming from me, at least.
I was gonna say, I can hold mine a little bit better.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are just like,
Is your lip good?
Yeah. Yeah. The sad thing is this is all I've had.
like I said, I'm saving mine for tomorrow.
Yeah. I got pre-game for tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Tomorrow being the 4th.
Of July.
There's only one 4th.
4th of July.
Oh no, take that back.
May the 4th
Don't
be
you
with
dare!
you.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Anyway.
We're not doing that.
What?
That was a made-up holiday. I don't
No.
Coming in at number 7.
Angrily scratch your beard at me, mister.
Battle Abbey.
Battle Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
That actually sounds kind of cool.
In
That's a show. That's a drama show I'd watch.
Amen to that.
10 and
Don't hurt yourself.
Where?
what? Dang.
Where?
How is this even? This ain't even in America. Is it?
Baby, you won't be able to read the medic school books.
This is the Battle of Hastings took place with King Harold II. The Saxons defenders. What the fuck?
This isn't even. Man, fuck this.
Normandy.
No.
Yeah, no, move on.
All right, moving on. That one doesn't count. This is top 9.
Ain't no anti-America crap in this episode.
Number 6, or if you're keeping count, this would be number
Who the hell
5.
cares? Huh?
Yeah. Fort Concho. Built in 1867 in San Angelo, Texas,
Oh yeah.
as an outpost to protect the frontier settlers in West Texas. Fort Concho operated for more than 20 years. Among the commanders who served there was Pecos Bill. Pecos? I should know that one. Pecos Bill. Yeah, Peco Bill himself. William Shafter.
Yeah, I was just saying it's Pecos.
Oh,
Yeah, been shot.
and today it is considered an historical landmark sitting in 1,600 acres. It saw numerous battles over the years, and its soldiers helped put down the Comanchero movement, which saw illegal profiteering between Mexican and American traders. These days, it is famous for being haunted by several ghosts, including the spirits of James Cunningham, George Dunbar, Edith Grierson, and Ronald Mackenzie. Mackenzie was the most famous commander at Fort Concho, and visitors claim to have seen him appear as an apparition through the fort, particularly in Officers Row, where he lived for the duration of his time at Fort Concho. The other three, including the spirits of 12-year-old Grierson,
12?
Have been spotted throughout the facility over the years.
Why the hell is there a 12-year-old running around in there?
Because she's dead.
Because Fort?
Because she's dead.
Oh, okay.
I like that answer, but because Fort.
Well, it was also a home. I mean,
Okay, but
that's a. It looks more like a home than a fort.
yeah, good point.
A home. A house. A large house.
This house is not a home. Okay, that's still 12-year-old, really? Good God.
Coming in at number 5. Marston Moor. This looks old. Yeah. Well, they're all old, but the Battle of Marston Moor was fought on July 2nd, 1644, during the First English Civil War. 4,000 members of the Royalist side were killed in what was a decisive victory for the parliamentarians. That was a big word. With Oliver Cromwell leading the victors. Cromwell used the old hall in the village used as a base of operations by Cromwell. And according to legend, he's there to this day, haunting the grounds. Oh, and that's not even mentioning the fact that apparently the spirits of the royalists who were slain in battle still roam the area. There have been reports over the years of phantom soldiers marching in Marston Moor, including possible sightings in 1932, 1968, and 1992, when people reportedly observed long-haired, finely dressed soldiers marching along the road. Number 4, Cold Harbor Battle. The Battle of Cold Harbor took place from May 31st to June 12th in 1864 during the American Civil War, and is considered one of the bloodiest battles in the United States history. Union General Ulysses Grant led his men against Confederate General Robert E. Lee in what would turn into a bloodbath, with the Confederates decimating Grant's troops through the course of 2 weeks of fighting. It was one of the last battles for Grant, and one that he would call one of his largest regrets. The Cold Harbor battlefield is also believed to be one of the most haunted military sites in America, with locals reporting hearing sounds of the battle to the point where cannon fire, gunfire, and the sounds of screaming men are sometimes reported in the local newspaper.
Screaming men would be creepy.
Yeah. Tourists claim to still smell gunpowder when they visit the historical landmark, and both the Cold Harbor National Cemetery, and the Garthright House, located across the street, are said to be haunted by the spirits of a young girl. What is up with
Kids?
Yeah.
I don't know, the gunpowder thing, I don't know if I mean, if that battle really took place, then there could just be like residual gunpowder in the soil or anything, that smell could just be coming up. But yeah, the kid I can't explain.
I don't Number 3, the Dieppe Raid. I don't know. Anyway, also known as Operation Jubilee, that's what we're calling it, was a precursor to the Normandy invasion during World War II, consisting of primarily Canadian soldiers along with some British and a few Americans. The operation commenced on August 19th, 1942, 1 year after Pearl Harbor, a little less than a year after Pearl Harbor, and between the hours of 5 a.m. When it began and... between the hours of 5 a.m. when it began and 2 p.m. when the battle ended.
No, it's gonna keep going. Fucking Disney giggles over there.
Right.
Oh.
Anyway.
Keep going. I'm listening.
The attack proved to be a failure for the Allies. The casualties numbered more than 4,000. I don't know why I'm laughing at the casualties.
Because you're stuck on that.
Before the Allied forces retreated back across the English Channel. Fast forward to 1951, when a pair of tourists were vacationing in Puis? P-U-Y-S. Nearby to Dieppe. What the fuck? Anyway, and at 4 a.m., these people are like really on it with they're very punctual. They were awakened by what sounded like gunfire, shouting voices, and other sounds of battle coming from the beach nearby their hotel. These commas look like periods.
Yeah.
Number 2. The
Antietam.
Antietam. The American Civil War was an incredibly bloody affair, to put it mildly. However, nowhere has this more evident than the Battle of Antietam, which took place on September 17th, 1862, on Antietam Creek in Maryland. The battle lasted for hours in this tiny area, and the casualties were astonishing. In that one small span of time, more than 23,000 men were killed.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, killed, wounded, or missing in action.
That's still ridiculous. 23,000 fucking people.
Yeah. Today, the small road near Antietam Creek, where the battle took place, is known as Bloody Lane for a very good reason. Today, the sound of gunfire and smell of gunpowder is often reported at Bloody Lane, and visitors have claimed to have seen and heard spirits in the area. Virtually everything surrounding the Battle of Antietam has reports of haunting. From Burnside's Bridge, where Ambrose Burnside's Union soldiers pushed back the Confederates and where the dead were quickly buried in shallow, unmarked graves, to the nearby St. Paul Episcopal Church.
Episcopal.
Whatever.
Episcopal?
That's how it's fucking spelt.
Welcome to the English language.
Episcopal. I actually kind of like that. Episcopal.
Welcome to the Episcopal Church. This ain't your normal Episcopal Church.
Sure as hell isn't. No, sir. That's good. I like that.
Oh my.
I'm probably just gonna do yours.
You sure?
Not read it.
No, obviously.
And number 1 is Gettysburg. Look it up.
Yeah, everybody's pretty familiar with Gettysburg.
Going with the theme, I'm pretty sure they hear guns and smell gunpowder. Amen. Welcome to the Church of Episcopal.
Praise Episcopal. Well, thank you, Justin, for...
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
I love you, buddy, but I thank you for whatever that was.
This is why I don't read.
Oh, that's good.
I literally cannot.
Can't even?
How much can a white girl can't? Like,
Alright, so my portion of this is going to be the top 10 haunted areas of the White House. So, one location, multiple rooms. So we're going to go off of that. Let's see here. Numerous public officials and staff members have recounted stories of bizarre occurrences or eerie sightings. President Harry Truman once wrote to his wife that the damned place is haunted, sure as shooting. Oh, Truman. So, number 10, the attic. William Henry Harrison holds the dubious distinction of being the shortest serving president and the first to die in office, succumbing to pneumonia a mere month after his inauguration.
damn, that sucks.
Yeah, didn't even get through his first 100. However, subsequent residents have believed that Harrison's ghost still haunts the White House attic, rummaging around for something unknown. Several presidents have reportedly heard the unexplained noises coming from the attic above the Oval Office. Others report that Harrison is not alone. A Truman-era security guard once reported hearing, "I am David Burns," coming from the attic above the Oval Office.
Oh, I have heard of
In
this.
1790, David Burns was the man forced to surrender his land so that the White House could be built. That is
Some fucked up shit, right?
That is creepy as fuck. Number 9, the Rose Garden. The Rose Garden is one of the commonly used sites for presidential announcements. It is also the site of a particularly creepy haunting. The garden was originally planted by First Lady Dolly Madison in the early 1800s. A century later, when First Lady Ellen Wilson requested that the garden be dug up, garden workers reported that Madison's ghost appeared and prevented them from destroying her garden. Since that time, other White House insiders have reported an occasional and inexplicable smell of roses in the White House. These instances are often credited to Madison's ghost. I could totally see that. I mean, she fucking put the energy in to have that rose,
Yeah.
the rose garden put in, and then fucking Ellen Wilson decides, fuck you. You can get rid of this shit. Clearly, she does not like roses. Number 8, basement. Big shocker. White House lore tells of something particularly dire lurking in the basement. Unlike other areas of the White House that are inhabited by spirits of figures from American history, the basement is said to be the home of a demon cat. I know, right? Those who have reportedly seen the cat claim that it first appears as a small kitten, but as you get closer it becomes a larger and larger phantom beast. According to the legend, many years will pass with no one encountering the demon cat, but when it does appear, it serves as a warning of a great national disaster.
Huh.
The demon cat was supposedly sighted shortly before the great stock market crash of the 1920s and right before President Kennedy's assassination.
Wow.
That is actually pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing that shit on a tour.
That'd be so cool.
No, because then it's like, oh, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Game over, man! Game over!
Something that's gonna happen.
I can feel it.
I'd be all kitty.
I can feel it in my plums.
Oh no.
Let the boy watch.
Number 7, the second floor halls. The second floor of the White House is the residence for the first family. So many of the stories that emerge about this area come from presidents and their families. One of the most frequently reported White House ghosts is President Abraham Lincoln. And the second floor hallways are some of his favorite haunts. Lincoln has been seen or heard by many residents, including First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. President Truman once claimed to have heard Lincoln pacing the hallway and knocking on his bedroom door. It's not just Lincoln in the halls. President William Howard Taft became the first person to report seeing the ghost of First Lady Abigail Adams, who he saw floating through doors on the second floor. That's going way back if it's Adams. Holy shit. Second floor bedrooms at number 6.
Let's just stay off the second floor.
I know, right?
How many
Problem is
actual
that's where
White
I live.
Houses have there been? Because I know it's at least been destroyed once.
but it was rebuilt at that point.
I think
Right.
It hasn't changed.
So-
the location,
so just
I
the
think
two
it's
types.
it's just the two.
And you know what? And it's interesting because it looks like the picture that they show with number 8, the basement, looks like when it was either destruction or there was some sort of destruction that took place. Anyway, it's number 6, the second floor bedrooms. Various bedrooms on the second floor are used for the president's family and other guests. One husband and wife pair reported that the ghost of a British soldier tried to set fire to their bed.
Oh, fuck.
It is presumed that this soldier was the man who set fire to the White House during the War of 1812. In addition, President Lyndon B. Johnson's daughter Linda once reported seeing the ghost of Lincoln's son Willie, who had died in the very room in which she was staying. Other reported activity includes the ghostly screams of President Grover Cleveland's wife, the first woman to give birth in the White House. Following renovations in 1952, activity in the bedrooms has decreased significantly. Well, yeah, all the original shit's gone, so... Number 5.
All activities.
What?
Ceased in the bedroom.
Right.
There's no more activities going on in there.
Yeah. The yellow oval room at number 5, which I didn't even know there was one. During Lincoln's administration, this room was his personal library and one of his favorite rooms in the White House. Numerous White House employees have reportedly seen Lincoln gazing out of the windows of this room. First Lady Grace Coolidge also claimed to have seen him here. In addition to Lincoln, the disembodied voice of David Burns, the guy that was mentioned in number 10, has been heard from this room. First Lady Mary Todd Lincoln also reported seeing the ghosts of both Presidents Thomas Jefferson and John Tyler here. Mary Todd was an odd duck, though. You know, she got huge into seances and a lot of that sort of thing. So, number 4, the North Portico. The White House entrance has a number of notable ghost fixtures. A torch-wielding British soldier, likely the same from number 6, is often seen standing outside the front door. People have also reported seeing long-deceased White House ushers and doormen still tending to their duties. Perhaps most bizarre is the ghost of Anne Surratt, whose mother, Mary, was hanged in 1865 for her role in the Lincoln assassination. Anne's ghost has been spotted pounding on the White House doors begging for her mother's release. She's also reported to sit on the front steps every July 7th, the anniversary of her mother's execution. 4 days from now, she should be sitting there. It's a shame we don't live close enough to actually put that to the test.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Number 3, the East Room. The East Room is the favorite haunt of Abigail Adams' ghost. During her tenure in the White House, this was the room in which she would hang her laundry. Fuck. She's often seen in or en route to the East Room with her arms outstretched, as though carrying a laundry basket. Sightings were particularly abundant during the Taft administration, but as recently as 2002, a group of tourists reportedly saw Adams. In addition to her sightings, many people report the faint smell of laundry soap around this area.
I'm sorry, she didn't have people to do her laundry? She was the first lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I guess back then, maybe not?
yeah, it's Abigail Adams. That was, what was he, 3rd?
Yeah,
But
something
still, I mean, there were still slaves then.
Well, I'm sure it ran a little differently. At that point, she probably needed something to do. Let me do the
I was gonna
laundry.
say, yeah, at that point, it could have just been the simple fact that she's so used to doing it that she just did it.
Yeah,
You know, force of habit.
yeah.
Lincoln has also been spotted in here in the room in which his body lay in state. Number 2. Never heard of this room. The Rose Room. The Rose Bedroom is frequented by its former occupant, President Andrew Jackson. Numerous White House employees have seen or heard Jackson in the room, often engaged in party laughter or swearing violently.
Same.
According to the White House lore, there is an inexplicable cold spot on the canopy bed in the room where Jackson slept. Among the most notable reports, Mary Todd Lincoln claimed to have heard Jackson swearing, and White House seamstress Lillian Parks felt his presence over her, which she recounted in her memoirs about her time in the White House. Not to be outdone, Lincoln has also been spotted here. When Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands stayed in this bedroom, she answered a knock on the door one night and saw Lincoln's ghost standing in the hallway.
Could you imagine, like, open the door?
4 scores and
4 scores and 7 years ago,
No.
you took over my room, you bitch.
He's doing the great moments with Mr. Lincoln
oh
speech.
gosh.
And last, number 1. Get ready, because this is gonna shock you. Number 1, the Lincoln bedroom.
Ah.
Given Lincoln's frequent appearance at various places on this list, it is no wonder that his bedroom comes in at number 1. Winston Churchill famously refused to sleep in the bedroom ever again after seeing the ghost beside the fireplace. Churchill, it should be noted, had just emerged from a bath and was completely nude during the encounter. Oh, Winston. Beyond those already listed as seeing Lincoln in other places, he has been spotted by Presidents Teddy Roosevelt, Herbert Hoover, and Dwight Eisenhower. First Ladies Jackie Kennedy and Lady Bird Johnson.
Oh, Jackie O.
And presidential children Susan Ford and Maureen Reagan. Maureen and her husband both saw Lincoln standing beside the fireplace, just as Churchill has seen him.
But
Other
were they
guests,
naked?
they were not.
Oh.
Other guests have reported that lights in the bedroom will turn themselves on and inexplicable cold spots will occur in the room. And that is the list of top 10 most haunted locations in the White House.
I'm surprised that there's so much Lincoln because I heard Lincoln is supposed to have like a prevalent presence in the theater.
And you know what though? But that's just it. I honestly think that he is definitely in the White House because, well, first of all, I mean, my bias aside, because I out of all the presidents, I feel Lincoln is by far one of my favorites to hear about, read about, and I think he is by far one of the best presidents ever. Possibly
Amen
even,
to that.
possibly even the best.
Amen to that.
But I think I agree that I think he does kind of show up. He does spend a lot of time at the theater, but I also can believe he's at the White House too. The theater because that's where he went. That's where he died.
Yeah.
I think he shows up at the White House a lot because I truly believe he feels that he has unfinished business. Because he did. He was killed. The Civil War was just ending. He just finished that. I can only imagine what else his mind was thinking that needed to get done.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine the reason he's still seen at the White House is he feels he's not done.
Yeah.
I wonder
That's
if he visits his summer home in San Francisco.
Did he have one there?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it was San Francisco. It was in California because he loved California. And I'm pretty sure it was San Francisco. if I remember
Maybe.
correctly.
Do you know who else loved Lincoln?
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney loved Lincoln. He would dress up like Lincoln every year on Lincoln's birthday and recite the Gettysburg Address for his classmates. You're welcome.
And there's your history
There's
lesson
your
for today.
Disney history right there. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Lincoln freed the slaves, not the Jews. Yes, for those of you who don't know, he was Disney was a obviously well-known anti-Semite, alright? But no, I really am not surprised. And it doesn't surprise me that other presidents have been seen too. Again, for so many of them, when you become president, you get 4 years, but you don't realize how short that is.
Yeah.
In the years of politics, that's no time. And for some of the presidents who were legitimate presidents, I can only imagine how much they wanted to get done.
Yeah.
Like how much of it they wanted to actually change their country, to do the right thing, to make this different, to make that different, only to get stonewalled by, the House or the Senate, whatever. And it doesn't surprise me that so many of them are seen wandering.
Yeah.
Because again, they're trying to find, and like I said, Lincoln was in as stated in yours, most of those locations you have were Civil War related, which is by far the bloodiest that's ever taken place, and he oversaw that.
Yeah.
So it also wouldn't surprise me if the reason he's still around is because maybe he harbors a lot of regret for how that went.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't know, like, at that point, maybe he doesn't believe he deserves to move on. until he's done something.
Because he seemed like that kind of man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. He just, so I mean, it's not a surprise that he still hangs out around there. It's not a surprise that he's seen. Part of me almost wants to go in and almost try and contact him, just to talk with him for a minute. Maybe even tell him, you know, like, hey, you have earned your right to move on. You have any.
You're good, bro.
You've been here a while, so you can't tell
Thank you,
me.
Troy.
Yeah.
I can go now. Like fucking
But
ghost.
but think about it. Think about it. If you like, let's say,
That's
okay.
all I can see right now
Yeah.
is the roofs in the end of it.
Uh-huh.
Just
If
going
you
up and
if you really look at it with
Patrick
him,
Swayze's gonna switch
Yeah.
up and be like, can you not?
no, Patrick Swayze's reaching
He's
down
reaching
for
down
Abe's
to
hand.
Oh no!
Abe rips his shirt
Yeah.
off and he's-
Oh, oh
Oh man.
It's just like I said. I mean, let's say for argument's sake, 'cause there's the residual haunting, and then there's the active haunting. If it's residual, where it's just images of him going through the paces, okay. But I feel like it's almost an active,
Yeah.
and if it is, he's got to be seeing what some of these presidents have done or have not done.
Yeah.
And part of me almost like, you can't tell me that if you could actually talk to him, the first question wouldn't be, why are you still here?
I want to
Why
know.
are you still here? And if he were to say it's because I don't feel like I've earned the right to move on. There's so much more I could have done and I didn't get a chance to do. Are you telling me you wouldn't explain to him that you are still by far probably the best
Best
president
president
this
we've
country
ever
has
had.
ever seen?
Yeah.
You have earned your right. You need to move on to something peaceful.
Yeah.
Don't stand around here. I know I would. I would tell him, as cool as it would be to keep him around, it's one of those things where it's like, man, you, of all people, have earned your right to some peace and quiet.
Yep.
So, go. So it doesn't surprise me that he hangs out so much around there. I can only imagine how much of that, in this life or the next, just weighs on him. You know, because it's the
Yeah.
matter of, okay, yeah, I was able to change these things, but have they really changed? And could I have handled the Civil War differently?
Different or better.
Yeah. Could I have improved this? What about that? There's just so much just weighed on him and him alone. It just, like I said, I can't even imagine. And it's evident. And the thing is, it's evident in any president. Believe it or not, if you look at any president, look at the picture of their inauguration, the picture of them leaving office. And I can honestly say, I think Obama by far is the one who showed it the worst. He looked like Father Time fucked him up.
Yeah.
And the stress just tore him up.
See,
Which
that-
again, no, that's no surprise.
We'll see what it looks like 8 years from now.
Assuming he makes it that far.
That's true.
But you look at a lot of them, like a lot of them just, you know, they go into the White House with smiles and all, and then towards the end you see there's no smiles. They're just moving on. They're just like, holy shit.
Get me out.
The only one probably still smiling is George W., but he's retarded, so.
Fair enough.
He is, and that's not me poking fun or talking shit on like Republicans or anything. He as a person is just. He's not the brightest crayon in the box because he probably ate that crayon. Okay.
Not quite
Do you
playing
eat
with the
chips,
full
Corinne?
He almost died from a fucking pretzel. How do you eat pretzels without a drink nearby? Something.
Yeah, I guess so.
I know I don't. I would have a drink nearby because that shit fucking sticks to everything. Next thing you know, you're like, and you're getting puzzle dust coming, or pretzel dust. Puzzle. Pretzel dust.
No, puzzle dust.
Just,
Just little pieces flying.
yeah.
How does that work?
Wow, we are not doing well in the language department
It's the
tonight.
heat. It's
It
the
is.
heat.
It is. So, it again. to sum it up, it does not surprise me that Lincoln's the most commonly seen. It doesn't surprise me that other presidents are seen there, not just because of the fact that they had to die in the White House or whatnot, but as a president, I can't even fathom how they feel when they leave, because I'm sure when they initially go in, there are things they want to get done, but sometimes they don't necessarily have the time or the resources to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that really, that's like, it's like going into work one day absolutely set on accomplishing this goal, and then not being able to, and then turning around and finding out that you've been fired, or you move on to another job and you realize you didn't get done what you wanted done. And I mean, something as simple as that just bugs the hell out of me. I don't know that I could ever be president, ever. I don't know that level of stress to just sit there and
I'd be a badass first lady, but I wouldn't want to be president.
See, and that's what kills me, because it's like, from that perspective,
I don't want him to be president either. That'll be fair.
it's just, you're constantly trying to make people not hate you, not hate your country, while trying to keep everybody cool. Like, hey, let's not. I know you found the cameras we placed in your fucking country, but don't take that personally.
Yeah, don't
In
be
your
too
house.
upset about that.
Yeah. And don't worry, I didn't hear that entire conversation the other night you had on the phone.
It's fine.
But like, I want to believe that a majority of presidents go into the presidency wanting to do good, and it just doesn't happen. So how do you cope with the fact that you went in there with this belief that you could make a difference and you don't?
Yeah.
So
Probably a lot of counseling involved afterwards.
if that, I honestly see booze and and prescription addiction, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So that was our 4th of July. Sorry to get deep there. That was our 4th of July episode. I'm sorry. It absolutely didn't run even remotely close to the way it normally runs. Tonight was interesting. I think we got a little too murk on our system.
Off of Mexican beer.
Shut up. Thank you for joining us. I hope you found this extremely entertaining.
I got a lot of work to do.
Yes, you do. This is going to be a very interesting editing episode, I'll tell you that much. I am Troy.
I'm Justin.
Thank you for watching Supernaturally Speaking. Have a good night. Mel. Guess what day it is? Guess what day?
What day is it?
Hump day!